Hi, welcome back to Lone Wolf Reviews. Tonight we're going to go over the breakdown and cleaning of the Canik TP9SFX. This will actually go for a lot of the Canik models. They're all quite similar in a lot of ways. But this one specifically is the one that we already reviewed, the TP9SFX 9mm version. And well, let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, of course, make sure that your chamber is empty. Make sure there's nothing inside. That's all good. And then you want to pull back on the slide slightly. Pull down your breakdown release. It just comes right off. So that's easily done right there. Get your framework here. You can put a little pressure on the front. Release your spring. The barrel just pushes forward, slides out. And that's really all the farther you need to break down on this. To do a cleaning on it, I'm going to use just a rag, some Q-tips, a little paper towel, and I'm going to use a combination cleaning and lubricating oil. This is Remington Rim Oil. This is something I've had for quite some time. Honestly, I don't even know if it's still in the market or not. It's something that may or may not still be out there, but that's what I'm using currently. So if we go into the frame, you want to be sure you clean all along the actual rails. You want to clean along the uprights from the trigger. You want to get the block release here. You want to get in there and make sure it's clean in all these little areas that you have contact. First things first, you can just take your cloth and go through and just give it a wipe down. Get any of your big chunks out. Get things cleaned up. Be careful you don't get hung up on any of those little upright parts here. You don't get hung up on that. But go through, just give it a wipe down, like I said, and you will see that it's got a little bit of dirt in there. We did fire a few rounds through it. And really after that, there's not a whole lot more to do to this. Unless you want to get in, you can get plastic picks and get in all these little grooves and edges and get in, make sure everything's clean. Make sure you get in there and just get really into it really good if it needs a good cleaning. The plastic picks won't scar the metal, won't scratch it up and gouge it. So that's good to use on that. Q-tips, they work well getting in those little confined spaces. Get in here and just clean it real good. You can see we've got a little bit of residue on here. It comes off. Get down in here. But you might also want to take a cloth or something and kind of run up to the mag well also. Make sure you don't have any oils or residue in there. But that shouldn't be much to do on that. Once the frame is done, you can set it aside, wait for lubrication. The slide, same thing. You want to go over here, get in the edge of the rails. You want to get over next to the breech face and clean that. You want to get up where the guide rail starts, where it sits. So just get your cloth, get in there, give it a good cleaning. Wipe it down really good. And it's not rocket science. Just clean it. Clean it as good as you want. You can keep cleaning and cleaning on it, or you can give it a light cleaning. Really depends on how much you have fired it and how much you want to get into cleaning it. Getting up inside the top there. So that breech face gets quite a bit of residue on it. So give that a good cleaning. Get it looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and touch up along those rails, the Q-tip, just to make sure. Okay, it's looking pretty good. And like I said, you can get in here and clean every little nook and cranny, or you can just give it a general clean. We're just going to do general cleaning right now. It's not going to be overly intricate or something that's really in depth, because it doesn't really need it at this point. It was cleaned not too long ago. So it's got our slide looking pretty good. The barrel, You want to make sure you go ahead and clean the, of course, the top where you slide, clean the outside of the barrel. You want to get the feed ramps, get them cleaned. Go ahead and get the blocks cleaned underneath here where it locks into your spring, and inspect it while you're looking at it. Make sure you don't have any places on your barrel that are showing any kind of wear or anything that's getting cracked or any kind of, issues that you might run into on it. The outside is pretty simple. Just wipe it down. If you want to get in there real good, you can take one of your Q-tips and get down along the edge, get in the grooves. I would suggest getting in here and cleaning this really good. So this is where your feed ramp is, and you want to make sure it's really good and clean, help lessen any chance of any kind of malfunction when you're firing. And it's got quite a bit of buildup on it. So we'll hit that really nice. Actually, we'll go ahead and put a little bit of this on here. Get there and clean it nicely. So get that cleaned up nice. All right. And cleaning the bore, cleaning the inside of the barrel. You can put some cleaner on your brush. You want to run the brush down through, all the way down through it. It comes out the other end. This is the one that came with the gun. It was in the kit. So just use it and clean it really nicely, and be sure you go all the way through. Don't just go halfway and stop. And kind of the same thing with the rest of it. Just depends on how much you want to get cleaned, how much you've been firing it. And it's getting pretty nice shine and look down through it. Don't really want to leave kind of an oily residue in there. We'll go through and clean it with some paper towel. Let's see how that looks. It should be pretty well clean. A little bit of residue still. Just cleaning up the dust and stuff from where we've actually got it cleaned out so far. Let's put another one on there and just double check. But it should be pretty clean for what we're doing right now. This is not, like I said, a in-depth cleaning. We're not stripping all the little parts down. We're just doing the basic field strip, cleaning it out. That looks pretty good. It comes out pretty clean. So that's done. Then you want to lube it up a bit. So get a little bit of this, especially on the top up here, on the top of the barrel, where you have your fit. Actually, it looks like this is getting pretty well done. Actually, I've got a lot more in there. What I needed, just need a dot on there. We'll go ahead and just lube this whole thing up using that. Oh yeah, that's definitely nice and lubed up now. Set that aside. On the slide, you want to get in, put just a couple points toward the front, a couple points toward the back. Doesn't take much, just a little drop or two. And then you can kind of work that in. You're not going to get in there real well with your finger, but you can kind of work it in with your finger and get it kind of pushed along the slide a little bit. Give it a chance to settle in there. Like I said, a little bit of this stuff goes a long way. We've got some lube in the edge of that rail. Same thing with the frame. A little back here and up front. Same on the other side. So we'll get up here and put just a little bit. Kind of work that in with our finger there. A little bit on that slide stop block. And again on this side. So I'll give us a little lubrication in there. The other thing I want to do with this slide is to put some in the top where the barrel is going to ride, because you want to make sure that's got some lubrication to it as well, since you're traveling along your barrel. I'm going to put a couple of drops, maybe. There we go. Put a couple of drops in the top. Just rub that in a little bit with the finger there. Get that worked in real well. We've also got our barrel lubricated, so that's not going to be a huge deal there. Now, we haven't really done anything with the spring so far, and that's because there's not really much to do with the spring. Just kind of give it a wipe down, get any of the thick crud off of it that's on there. There's not really a lot to do to that. It doesn't get overly dirty riding underneath. And then it's time to reassemble. You just slide your barrel back in, slip it in place, put your spring back into the guide slot, push it in, get it in place. Get your rails lined back up, slide back on. There we go. And there you have it. That is the basic fuel breakdown and cleaning of the Canik TP9SFX. Like I said, that works for a variety of models from Canik. It's not just this model. The Mete, the Elite, several of the other series they have are all pretty much the same thing. And just keep your guns cleaned and inspected, make sure that they are looking good, make sure they are doing what they need to do, and they should last you your lifetime and then some. So enjoy your firearms, and hopefully you find this useful. Please like and subscribe, and join us again on our next video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good evening.